The Kremlin is drawing a sharp red line over Ukraine's missile production, warning that Russian forces are working to identify and destroy facilities producing long-range weapons on Ukrainian territory. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Moscow is gathering intelligence on production sites for missiles and other military equipment and taking measures to destroy them. The warning comes after reports that Britain plans to provide Ukraine with technology for producing scalp cruise missiles.
Extremely negative. Britain is involved in this war. It is involved in this war on the side of the Kiev regime. Britain is methodically and regularly adding fuel to the fire and methodically and regularly plotting schemes to prevent even the slightest progress in the peaceful settlement process. This is precisely what the United Kingdom is doing.
The Kremlin's warning directly follows British moves to deepen military-industrial cooperation with Kyiv. UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham said Britain would continue strengthening support for Ukraine and help develop new technologies and industrial cooperation. Reports indicate London could provide blueprints or production technology linked to its Storm Shadow missiles, known as scalp, in French service. Moscow says such assistance amounts to Britain becoming directly involved in the conflict.
As President Zelensky has said, Ukraine is not a poor relative, but a strong ally. I'd go further still. Ukraine has been Europe's protector, not a drain on our security, but the front line of keeping Europe safe. That's why I believe the Ukrainian people deserve not just our continued support, but our gratitude and our respect.
Peskov went further, saying Russian forces are already carrying out the necessary work to obtain intelligence, identifying where such missiles and other military equipment are produced. According to the Kremlin spokesman, Russia is then taking measures to destroy those locations. That statement effectively places Ukrainian missile production infrastructure in the crosshairs, with Moscow presenting the planned Western technology transfer as a direct escalation of Ukraine's long-range strike capability.
Our armed forces are carrying out the necessary work, gathering the relevant intelligence to identify the production sites of such missiles and other military equipment, and taking measures to destroy these sites.
Speaking in Kyiv, Burnham described Ukraine as a strong ally, rather than a burden on European security. He said Ukraine had become the front line of keeping Europe safe and pledged continued British support. Burnham also said he would work alongside French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz through the coalition of the willing to deliver stronger support for Kyiv.
That's why later today I will take up the reins of the coalition of the willing alongside President Macron and Chancellor Merz. I am determined that we will work together to deliver the support you need, Mr. President, stronger than ever.
Burnham said Britain would honor its commitments to Ukraine and continue building a long-term partnership between the two countries. He called for stronger air defense, measures targeting Russia's military supply chains, support for destroying missiles before launch, and assistance for Ukraine to develop new technologies. His remarks underline the scale of the military-industrial cooperation that Moscow says is fueling the conflict.
That means not just air defense, but stopping Russia launching their missiles in the first place, with sanctions that cut off their military supply chains, with support to destroy missiles before they are launched against Ukrainian cities, and with help for Ukraine to develop new technologies and deepen our industrial cooperation.
The Kremlin's message is therefore clear. If Ukraine gains greater capacity to produce long-range missiles with Western technology, Russia says it will seek to locate and destroy the facilities behind that capability, Peskov accused Britain of adding fuel to the conflict and undermining peace efforts. The reported scalp technology transfer now sits at the center of a direct confrontation between London's support for Kyiv and Moscow's threat to strike Ukraine's weapons production network.